All right, we'll get into our last meeting before we pass the gavel. Before we get into all of our accomplishments and some of that today, I wanted to go back, and before we move forward, I want us to remember where we've come from and just go back to a little bit on Paul Harris of how Rotary was started. He was born in 1868, so you got to think this guy created something a long time ago. He passed away in 1947, and he began to wonder if others in the big city of Chicago were just making acquaintances and they really didn't have any friends. And so that began his search to make a friendship and see if others had lost those friendships from moving from small towns to big town Chicago. And in 1905, he did found the Rotary Club. Does anybody know why the name Rotary was chosen?
Yeah. I can't tell you though.
Okay. It's a secret. Carol is usually our go-to for trivia. So it was chosen for the club's practice of holding each meeting, rotating at different members' locations and businesses. And by the time of his death in 1947, there were 200,000 members in Rotary in 75 countries. Today there's over 1.2. So he didn't get to see the full scope of what he had started. He had a very famous quote: "Whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, it will be known by the results it achieves." So I kind of wanted us to think on that. And the other thing I want us to remember as we look back goes to James Bowmore. And our club makes it a priority to give back to the greater good, and we work to help our local community and donate to Rotary International. But I want us to think of the bigger picture. We're not afraid to dream big and set bold goals. Rotary began the fight against polio in September of 1979 with a project to immunize 6 million children in the Philippines. What's a pretty bold goal to start with that high number. And today, there are only 2 countries left. So we have fought this as an organization and as a globe to eliminate polio. James Bowmore Jr. was then the Rotary president of Rotary International. He put the first drops of vaccine in the child's mouth, and he ceremoniously launched the Philippine polio immunization effort, which was Rotary's first health, hunger, and humanitarian grant project. So as you see us talk about giving money to programs, that's really where it started. And James Bowmore was from Chattanooga? Chevrolet. That project's success led Rotary to make polio eradication a top priority. Rotary launched Polio Plus in 1985 and was a founding member of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative in 1988. Decades later, 2.5 billion children have received the oral polio vaccine because of what we as a Rotary started. So I want us to look back. Now, let's look back at a more recent time of this past year. We achieved Star Club status. We achieved the Polio Eradication Club status. Now, what that was is each member donated $125 to become a Star Club, and each member donated $50 for us to become the Eradication Club. So when my schedule changed and Carol was able to make the district conference, she picked up all our awards. So I did want to show these off today, and then I'll talk about our youth one also. We received the Youth Event Award by sponsoring the High School Interact Club, giving dictionaries to our elementary school 3rd graders, and empowering women through our donations to Heart to Heart. We supported the Interactors again with a $1,500 check to take care of their travel to district conference. And as we learned from the Interactors this year, most Rotary clubs do not give money to help their students get there. So that is something that we were very proud of that they bragged on us about this year. We kept up our social media presence, updated our goals to Rotary International. We had Mr. Ham receive his Paul Harris Fellow Plus One recognition. We brought in new prospective club members, and by doing these things and by achieving the other awards, we achieved the District Governor Citation, which is the 4th award. Let's not forget that our interactor, Hannah Cannon, won the 4-way test in the speech competition. We honored Don Holman by having the district governor, Miss Cindy Gammons, present him with the Rotary Presidential Certificate for 58 years as a Rotarian. We built strong relationships with the Andrew Jackson Masonic Lodge to support the toy drive. We brought in Prospect Baptist Church youth members as shoppers at Christmas this year. We brought in over $6,600 from the fish fry for us to help with future projects. We tried out a new meeting location that everybody seemed to like with Java Road. And we made long-lasting decisions on how we will give back to the community by reestablishing our high school scholarship program. So sometimes I think it's hard to remember the great things we've done, but these were our accomplishments as a club in the past year. And I think it's a pretty good distinguished list. The core of our club is strong, and I'm going to follow up what Mr. Pritchard said. Now it's time to gain new members and bring back old ones. I meant past ones. And become more visible in our community. So I want to start the awards today as I end my presidency with someone who has shown courage, maybe without even knowing that she has done it. I would like to ask Laura Cripps to join me up front.
Now, how am I supposed to take photos?
This truly is a small world. For those that don't know, Laura and I went to school together. We went to high school in Albertville, Alabama together. It always amazes me when people have the opportunity to reconnect after so many years in a different state and in a different place in life. I obviously didn't have these two when we knew each other. See, way back when. Laura came from a club in Alabama, and not just to join us, but she jumped in and became an active member. It takes courage to engage in a new city with new folks and step up as a leader. She stepped up and will assist Laws this year before she becomes our club president in 2023. And for that reason, I'm giving her an award that Fayetteville has never given to anyone before. This is the Rising Star Award, and I'd like to present it to Miss Laura. If you'd like to say something, you can.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I feel closer to this club than I did in that big one in Athens that I was in for a long time. So y'all got a good group right here, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
We'll stand together for a second.
Okay.
Is this for the paper?
Yeah. She just hired me. Well, I guess if it'll take. Well, I guess I'm fired. There you go.
Thank you. In 1950, the first steps were taken by Rotary Club in India, who made a proposal that the word male be deleted from the standard Rotary Constitution. In 1977, despite numerous proposals being made, women were still not permitted to be members. The Rotary Club of Durant, California, chose to admit women as members in violation of both the Rotary International Constitution and the standard Rotary Constitution. Because of that violation, the club was terminated the next year in 1978. 37 years after the first proposal to allow female members to Rotary, on May the 4th of 87, women were allowed to become Rotarians. I would like to ask Carol Foster to come up. Today I'd like to honor someone who has been a guiding light to me since I became a member of this club. The first woman of the Fayetteville Rotary Club and a strong community advocate on the things we think, say, and do. I'm presenting this special pen to a very special person. This pen,
Oh my God.
is the heart of the spirit of women in Rotary.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
You know? Thank you. Well, I love Rotary. I love all y'all.
You're all right yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, that's a compliment coming for you.
Thank you. I love this.
How could our club run without the gentle guiding of strong leaders behind the scenes? The next award is the James Herford Jr. Award. And as I mentioned earlier, I want to thank Bonnie for joining us today as I present this award. Mr. Herford was a strong leader, a longtime Rotarian, a local lawyer, and had strong ties to this community. This award was created after his untimely death from a heart attack in 2012. This award is given to someone who is a leader, who is dedicated, is an active member, and that guides this club a lot more than everyone here realizes. To give you a hint of who this award recipient may be, these may be some of the quotes you could hear coming from this person's mouth. Stop by my office and pick up a check. Did we pay our bills? Did Rotary International receive our check? What's the rate of return on our CD? Did everyone pay their dues? Oh, I did email everyone yesterday about your dues. So while we're at it, we have someone that'll take that. David Kidd, would you please come to the front? Leadership is staying calm under pressure. When we lost Kurt, who was our bookkeeper, he never missed a beat and he took over all the responsibilities. You keep us in check on both the foundation side and our club. You're open to listening to new ideas on how we can build the club better, and you give commentary when needed to make sure that we are good stewards of our assets. I present to you the James Strong Herford Jr. Award. Thanks for all you do.
Take the plaque out of the fight.
Yeah. She did, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, you ready?
Oh, that's good.
I got a few, thanks.
Okay. You want to say anything?
I'm not worthy of the Jim Herford Award.
You have that, David.
Thank you.
You know, when I grew up, I always wished Jim was my brother. And when I got older, we were somewhere one time and I said, you always wished you were my brother. And I said, what was I thinking? He wouldn't have let me done a thing, you know, because our families ran around together. I love it.
The final award for the day. This person always has a great outlook on life with a smile on their face. Throughout this last year, this person often asks me, how can I help? What can I do to bring in new members to our club? And another quote was, does the new guy always have to be the one with their hand in the freezing catfish thawing tank? Quote, these words come to mind as I am thinking of the four-way test of how they apply to the Rotarian of the Year. Trustworthy, fair to students, parents, and Rotarians. A friend you can depend on, and beneficial to our organization and to our community. Laws Rushing, would you please come up? Thank you. Oh. Laws told me he'd like one more year under his belt as a member before stepping up to be president. And when I continued to ask about getting that position filled, he came to me and said, I'll do it. And I give the Rotarian Award to Laws for stepping up to become our next president and to continue what I hope is a continued upward trajectory for our club. And before I pass the gavel, I want to thank the club for allowing me to be the president and for the opportunity this year. And if there's nothing else, I will induct Laws as the next president. All right. after me.
Okay.
Okay.
Did I hold up my hand?
This is the oath of the president. Yeah, why
Did we
not?
do? Okay.
Sure. That makes for a better picture.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. I, Laws Rushing, do solemnly pledge
I, Laws Rushing, do solemnly pledge
that I will faithfully execute the office
that I will faithfully execute the office
of President of the Rotary Club of Fayetteville, Tennessee.
of President of the Rotary Club of Fayetteville, Tennessee,
Administer the duties of the office of President
minister the duties of the President
in a business-like manner.
in a business-like manner,
Support the District Governor and Rotary International.
support the District Governor and Rotary International,
And that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club.
and uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club.
Dr. Laws Rushing, you have been selected by the members of this club to guide its affairs during the coming year. You have been entrusted with an important responsibility that will help shape our club's future. By being elected as the office of the president, you have had this expressed on you with confidence from your club members. I will now have the pleasure of presenting this gavel to you for your new office. All right.
Thank you, Paul.
That's my last official duty.
Now I can. Oh,
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes, that's all you.
Well, I want to thank Paul Brindley for the outstanding job that he has done this year. And on behalf of the Rotary Club, Paul, we have an award for you to present to you for your presidency in the 21-22 year. Thank you for your service
Thank
to
you
this
very much.
club.
Appreciate it. All right, all you.
Oh man, I get to carry this around, and if anybody
Yes, and you.
got walnuts, I can crack them for you
You'll get to end this today.
at the end. Yes. Well, I want to thank everyone for this honor to be able to serve, and that's really the word that I think about with this club is the word serve. And the motto that we have in this club is service above self. And I think that that value is one of the values that attracted me to Rotary. And one of the things that I found in this club was friendship, and I think that that was a founding principle by Paul Harris, was friendship, the friendships that you gain and the service that you're able to accomplish. Service is important to me for a lot of different reasons, especially for spiritual reasons. You know, there's a lot of definitions of what greatness is. If you look into the world and if you look on the magazines, the world and folks promote a lot of different definitions of greatness. Probably a few things come to mind. You know, generally speaking, hey, if your wallet's pretty fat, oh, you're a great person, right? That's the world's idea. Or hey, if you're smart, if you're intelligent, I think Albert Einstein was the man of the century of life in the 20th century. So intelligence we esteem, fame or power, all of those things people esteem as greatness. But when you look at some of the fundamental values of what has brought us the greatest results in our society, actually servanthood is the quality that has made the biggest difference. And if you were to talk to the person to the guy in Nazareth, he said, whoever desires to be great among you, let him serve. And so I hope that this year my presidency will be in that timbre, that servanthood is what I'm here to do for this year. And so I have a lot of ideas for the club, and I wanted to share a Paul Harris quote that spoke to me. And I think this kind of speaks to our times. Paul Harris once said, man has an affinity for his fellow man, regardless of race, creed, or politics. The greater the variety, the more the zest. And I just love the optimism of that quote, that it's really, our differences can really be our strengths. And I hope that this club, Rotary Fayetteville, will be able to transcend those differences that seem to haunt and tear down what we're seeing around our world and country. And so I hope to bring that value of friendship and of servanthood. And so just a few things that I really want to focus on that have been alluded to over and over again today. Membership growth is probably number one. We have a great club here. I think it's probably a good secret, and so we need to let the secret out of who this club is, what this club is doing. And so I really want to expand our membership to past members, and I'm glad Phil's here and a part of that conversation, and I'm glad to hear his enthusiasm for getting new members and past members. So membership is an important part of the future of this club. I also think that expanding our service projects in a realistic way and in a feasible way is an important thing. We have great service projects, but we also have the opportunity to expand our service in this community, and so I want to do that this year and do that in a responsible and feasible way that we can accomplish as a club. And then also I think that we need to continue to increase the visibility of this club. And so when Paul was speaking, I was right there with him as far as, we didn't even compare notes, did we, Paul?
We did not.
We all know what this club is capable of doing, and so with your help, I hope to do that this year. So I appreciate the support. I appreciate the confidence that you have entrusted in me, and it is my prayer that our club will be better next year than it is today. And I thank Paul for making the club better than it was last year. Thank y'all so much. So I guess we're going to stand and conclude the meeting. If you will, please stand and repeat after me the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Hey! First official duty.